So some of you know me from way back from high school, growing up in Shelby, Montana. Some of you know me um, as an auto detail guy. Spent the last 20 years almost in the automotive industry, the last 10 with my own business, trying to make that work. And some of you know me from church. I've played music at various churches over the years. And it's been interesting looking back at my life and kind of evaluating the common denominator, like, for example, the my driving factor. Why have I been motivated to work for almost nothing at times to try and make a business work? What did I end up going to school for? Where did I meet my wife, who is like the greatest thing that's happened in my life? What did I do when I left school, and what did I do in high school? And realizing that the underlying factor in my life all the way across has been music. Ever since I first picked up a guitar in 7th grade, that's kind of been my motivating thing. Like, I love music. I love playing guitar. I love singing. I love performing, and realizing of late that I always knew I wanted to build a business that could kind of operate itself so that I could have some free time, and and realizing that what I did when I had a little bit of free time was work on music. And so the cool thing that's come of that is that maybe some of you saw a little while ago, I posted that I had copyrighted some songs, and that was just, I had spent the last year or so in my spare time, or in created time, whatever it is, I've made some time or used some of the flexibility of the time that I have from owning a business to record a bunch of music, maybe about a dozen songs or so, trying to find my voice a little bit. I'm not in the same place I was in high school and in college. And for those of you that don't know, so I started playing guitar in high school, or in junior high. By the time I was in 8th grade, we had put together a little band and played a talent show, which was enough motivation to continue playing. And through high school, the band changed a little bit, but we kept playing, school barbecues and simple things like that, mostly just a friend's activity. And then I went to college, but found that all I wanted to do in college was sit in my dorm room and play guitar. And so by the time I got through that first year of college, our band was trying to record some, but really got involved in playing music out. And then for a couple of years, we probably played bars every weekend for a couple of years, until, egos and lack of direction brought that to a halt. And that's when I started detailing cars. Just was the only job I could find at the time. Moving forward a few years, I think 5 years or so, I tried some other things, and then wasn't until like 2007, I think, I decided to go back to school because the economy had kind of taken a dive, and even though I had a couple of jobs at the time, I wasn't working a whole lot, and for some reason I chose music to go into. There was a music technology degree that was new in Bozeman, where I live, and I thought that might be a good idea, even though there was no real economic future in that. Went there, so I got a degree in music technology. It took me a little while, because after my first year going full-time and meeting my wife, I decided I probably needed some money. So I purchased the auto detailing business from the guy I was working for. He made a way for that to happen, and decided I better work on being an adult and do that. But subconsciously, if not consciously, having time to work on music, I think, kind of drove me to always be trying to find ways to have a system and employees, so that I could sort of create my own time, if you would. and so that's worked to a degree, and I was able to spend some time recording with the little knowledge I got at school and just past experiences and picking up, you know, some of the music ideas I've had over the years, and just started putting things together. And I'm not thinking I'm breaking any new barriers in terms of tonality or anything at this point, but really have enjoyed the process. And that brings me to something, you know, kind of exciting to share, you know, and that's so I did talk with a guy who said, you know, I just asked him, hey, what do you think the best next step is? And he said, you know, copyright your stuff. So I did that. He's like, you don't want to share it with people if you can't own it. So copyrighted it. And then, you know, shortly after that, there was a contest from a studio in Bozeman asking for submissions. They were going to help do a single and a crowdfunding thing to be able to record a whole album. And I thought, man, even though I have some skill recording, it would be awesome to work with a producer and some professional musicians, and just even what a great learning process. So I submitted some music. A couple days later, I got some feedback. It's like, hey, you know, loved your stuff. Let's talk. So the last few weeks has been a process of just kind of dialing in, you know, whether or not this thing's going to be a go. They had to make sure that, you know, I had the work ethic to kind of work crowdfunding things. So we got some pre-pledges in, and that has worked out well. And right now we're just getting ready to set a time for me to head out and record a single at a studio. So that's really exciting. And I just share this to share part of where my musical journey is presently, and just am grateful for all of you that have supported me and encouraged me over the years, and just want to invite you and anybody you know that might be interested in this along on the journey to see where this goes. So and very grateful for the support of my wife, from whom I've gotten a lot of encouragement, and without whom I don't think I would have been able to accomplish what I've done so far. She keeps me alive. She keeps me fed, keeps me from living on cereal every day of my life. So bless you, wife. And anyway, I'll try and check in soon and let you guys know what's going on. But again, thanks for joining me on the journey. See ya.